Ahava blessings. Welcome to this episode of Embodying the Shekhinah. This podcast is here to support us, to guide us, to provide us with inspiration and tools to navigate these times of incredible energy, to understand the cosmic frequencies that we're working with in order to embody, integrate, remember our soul essence. I'm your host. My name is Aurea. I am an ordained Magdalene priestess, Reiki master, energy and sound alchemist. And in this episode, we're going to go into the energies of this full moon in the sign of Libra. We are in the Aries-Nissan portal. It is about leadership. It is about miracles. It is about purification. It is about activating the chrism, your pineal gland, and really seeing with the true sight. It is a very powerful time for new beginnings, especially since all of the planets are direct right now. Nothing is in reggaeton, nothing is in retrograde, which is great. I think that this past Mercury retrograde season was very, very challenging. So this moon is happening at 10:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on April 1st, which is Wednesday late evening. It is 7:11 in the evening Pacific Standard Time, but it is in the wee hours of the morning Central European Time. So for all of our friends in Europe, that is about, 4:11 in the morning, assuming you guys haven't switched over yet, or you have. I will put the exact times down below since we are a couple of days before the event. And this moon is happening at 12 degrees. And 12 is the number 3. So the numerology of this moon has to do with creativity, with communication, with infinite possibilities, with action, because the 3 is a very masculine number. It is about remembering and remaining connected to ourselves and not forgetting the inner union that is the 2. Because remember, all of these frequencies, they build upon each other. So the moon is full in the sign of Libra while the sun is in Aries. So let's get into what this means. Aries is the ruler of the first house. The first house has to do with ourself, with our body, with who you are, how you express. And this is also on a collective level how humanity expresses. The sun is the ego personality as well. Libra is the ruler of Libra rules the 7th house. Let's put it that way. The 7th house has to do with partnerships. It has to do with the we as opposed to the I. It has to do with relationships. It has to do with balance, justice, harmony, creating harmony, diplomacy. And it's not as impulsive and reckless an energy as is Aries, because Aries is it's the fire of creation. It's the fire of the Hooba, your sacred flame of holy desire. But this fire needs to be tempered by the more refined energy of Libra, because Libra is ruled by the planet Venus, whereas Aries is ruled by Mars. And there is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad when it comes to astrology. Astrology simply is an energy. And we as human beings have the opportunity to go within and harness these energies in the way we wish to harness them. Now, we can harness them for destruction, for chaos, for war, for strife, for impulsivity and absolute recklessness, or we can attune ourselves to our higher I am, not the egoic I am, the higher I am, the I am that is your soul, and move from there. Because when we move from the soul, we elevate our human expression and we elevate our actions and all that we do. And in that elevation, we're able to bring down more of the light of creation. So when there is a full moon, it really is an opportunity to balance. And I know it's Libra, so Libra is all about balance, but it is more of an opportunity to harmonize, to balance, to temper the quote unquote lesser expression of one of the zodiac signs with a higher expression. Because Libra is a wonderful, beautiful energy. However, Libra can have a difficult time taking action. Meanwhile, Aries takes action without just thinking about it, just goes. Doesn't matter, no plan, no safety net, no nothing. That's just Aries. So you can see just with these two archetypes how if we balance them a bit with the opposing polarity, in Aries' case it's Libra, you actually create a more harmonious way of interpreting and of dancing and working with the creation energies that we're working with. So during this full moon, things will be illuminated for you. And well, in Atlanta, it's happening in the 12th house. So depending on the house, different things will be illuminated to you. And it's not just the house. It really depends on how these energies play into your own specific natal chart. So feel into the energy. Feel into the frequencies. Allow this energy. We know the archetypes. Allow them to share with you what you need in order to move forward. In the Northern Hemisphere, we are going into spring season. Pollen is insane. All the animals are out and doing their mating rituals and all the things. Nature is beginning to unfold and unfurl her blossoms and her pollen, and everything is moving forward. How are you moving forward in your life? This is a time where you, the sun, your radiance is on display and is illuminating your inner world, your moon, the full moon, the inner world, the soul in the body. So we are being illuminated with wisdom, with courage, with strength, with fortitude, with that desire, that energy to create. So what are we being pushed to birth into the world? What is willing and ready to be revealed through us? This is everything for the last few months may have felt stagnant, stuck, kind of like you want to move forward, but there's so much holding you back. Now, the energy is like green lights. It's like a whole roadway of green. So what are we birthing into being? What actions are we taking? And not only that, we have the sun is conjunct Saturn in Aries. So Saturn is your discipline, time management. Saturn is the energy that pushes you into the highest iteration of who your soul came here to be, of your incarnation. Saturn wants you to do the things that you said that you would do. So now everything is building and we are being given the opportunity to move forward in a very powerful way, because Saturn is a very powerful energy. It's a very powerful energy to create the structure, the stability, the discipline, the legacy, the structures that you need to manifest. Saturn can help you with that. Saturn can help you birth into the physical form what your soul, the dreams, the fire of your creation that you are here to birth. This is a cosmic yes. So wherever you have Aries, that's where you need to be pushing. Wherever you have this fire within you to birth, to create, to manifest, to move forward, to explore. Do it. It is a very potent energy. And the other thing that we need to take into account during this season is, so I mentioned before that Aries is the ego, the wild child, the self that is completely unfiltered, unhinged, undisciplined, unruly, just impulsive and will do the thing without a safety net. That is Aries energy. Aries is the ego. In the higher octave, Aries is the ego in union with the soul. With this full moon, we are able to learn and illuminate the difference between when we are moving from the ego and when we are moving from the soul. Your ego, all of our egos, is reactive. The ego seeks to keep you small, contained, safe, confined. The ego speaks in limitations, in separation. It thrives in fear, in control, in manipulation, in narratives. It strives on guilt and shame and blame. Basically, everything that separates us. That is what the ego strives for. Keeping things, maintaining the status quo. Because the ego doesn't like change. The ego doesn't like not to know or feel in control. Which is very interesting because if we actually look on a cosmic level, we're not in control of anything. And when we realize that and liberate the need to know exactly what needs to be done and what we're doing and how it's going to unfold, when we surrender to the unfolding and trust in the process, in that we are protected, we are divinely guided, we are always in communion and in co-creation with the divine. When we trust in the unfolding and surrender the need to know everything, that is when the magic truly begins to happen. Because your soul knows exactly what it needs to do. The ego, it loves labels. It loves the perception of being virtuous and right. It loves the applause and loves the attention. But your soul is different. Your soul doesn't engage in this manner. It knows that it is always in oneness. It knows that it is in constant union and communication and co-creation with the divine. The soul knows it is infinite. It knows it's always connected to the divine. The soul knows it is infinite and expansive. And it's always seeking. The soul is always evolving. It's always expanding. It's always growing. It's not afraid to be wrong. It's not afraid to do things unconventionally. It's not afraid to quote unquote mess up. The soul is in full surrender and trust that however the soul moves, as long as it is aligned with the light and creation, everything is going to work out exactly as it needs to. The soul knows it is protected, it is fully supported. So your soul already knows it is love, it always is love. It doesn't know fear, it doesn't know separation. This is actually why whenever I hear channelers, and if you know me, you may have heard me say this before. Whenever I hear channelers speak in terms of division, of right, wrong, black, white, this is right, this is wrong. If you eat meat, you're not going to, you're going to remain in a low vibration, in a dense vibration, and you're not going to ascend. Whenever I hear channelers speak in terms of A or B, I know very well they're not channeling the light. They're not channeling infinite creation. Because if you're channeling higher dimensional beings, first of all, they're not going to tell you, well, if you go down this road, this is what's going to happen. And if you go down that road, that's going to happen. And they're not going to speak to you in ways of duality because they don't know duality. They don't exist in duality. This is why when you're truly channeling, you never get like a clear answer that your human self actually understands because your soul and higher dimensional energies, angelic frequencies, they don't speak in those terms. They don't understand separation. They don't understand duality. They understand that it is part of our human experience. And they understand that because free will, they actually should not and cannot tell us how one course of action is going to play out. They can give us different kind of ideas and different ways things may work out, but they cannot 100% say, if you do this, this is going to happen. Because the moment that anything outside of you, and they know this, tells you if A, B, they know that they are interfering with your free will. And if they are beings of light, they are not going to want to tell you anything that is going to disrupt your connection from the divine and from free will. So be very, very wary of any channelers that say A or B. Or if you do this, that. That's not the way it works. And that's also not helpful because that interferes with your free will. And that is something higher dimensional beings do not want to do. They do not wish to manipulate, to obfuscate. They do not wish to interfere in those ways, because if they do, let's just say that they could wave a magic wand and tell you, okay, humanity, we're going down this path because this is definitely the path of ascension. What happens when they do that is they rob humanity of the growth and expansion and the learning that they would have otherwise experienced if humanity went at it based of its own union with the divine. So I'm hoping that makes sense, because I think especially with this, the energies of this Aries solar and lunar cycle, and this energies of this lunar full moon in Libra, we have to exercise discernment. There is so much out there that just wants to manipulate and use your energy for nefarious means. They want to trigger you. They want you to be upset. They want you to be riled up. They want you to be out of control. Because when you are centered in your heart, you are not easily manipulated, you are not easily controlled, and you are not energetic food for those bastards. Period. End of story. So be mindful. If something is eliciting an unnatural or a very strong reactive response, then you know you are in the ego and you must get back into the heart. And this is this full moon. This moon in Libra is bringing you back to your heart, to the soul that knows that it is and always will be love. The soul is, how do I say this? The soul is the part of you that does the hard work without seeking applause. It's willing to do the inner work when no one's watching. It prefers it when no one's watching because it's not distracted. So we want this moon to illuminate us. We want it to open us. We want it to bring us into deeper union, deeper wisdom, into harmony, balance, and alignment. Harmony, balance, and alignment. All beautiful Libra qualities. And this is, we're activating the Hooba, the sacred flame of holy desire, which is that fire of creation that is Aries. And it's time we start letting go of how we think things need to be, and let the divine move through us. Stop attaching our infinite selves to the finite. Stop limiting the possibilities with those attachments, because whatever we are attached to, we are limiting. And when we attach ourselves to one outcome, we are limiting ourselves. And this is not the time to be limiting yourself. We have Jupiter intertwined with Mercury. All the planets are direct. Your communication and learning is able to expand now. So any ideas, any new projects, any thoughts, all of this is able to come in with greater clarity now and with greater ease. So use this time wisely. The other thing I will say when it comes to channeling is something that we all can do. We're always receiving information. So it is really important, particularly with all the chaos in the world, to always be mindful of your energy, of what is yours and what is not. Always be clearing your energy, and to always be harmonizing and balanced and in your heart. We don't want to make decisions from a chaotic space. So if you are in your ego, if you are in a reactive mode, because if you're triggered, if you're emotionally unstable, and this doesn't mean that that's your normal state. It means that your body, your nervous system is unregulated. If that is the case and your body and your mind is not in a peaceful state, then it's going to be all the more difficult for you to actually receive and process and actually interpret what you are receiving for your highest good, because you're going to be, it's kind of as if, how do I put this? It's as if there's water flowing and it's flowing through a hose, but then there's a kink in the hose, and then the water, the full stream of water that you could be receiving, you're only receiving a trickle of it because of the kink in the hose. Get rid of the kinks. Get rid of the kinks in the hose. Really work on being as balanced and harmonious as possible. And yes, we live in this 3D world. Yes, it's not always possible. And we still should be doing our best to be purifying and clearing our energy field, and to develop the discernment and the wisdom to know when we are not in a space where we can actually channel in integrity, and when we are not. Know when you are on your bullshit. That is really important. Know when you are on your own high horse and you're, basically thinking that you're the cat's meow or whatever. Like, you're thinking that you yourself are basically exactly everything that you need to be doing. That's not a good thing. We don't want to be in the ego. Not when we're teaching, not when we're channeling. We want to be in a heart-centered space. We want to be receiving in a pure state and allowing the pure light of the divine to flow through us. This doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're actually doing this professionally. I hate that word. It doesn't matter if you're doing this as your service and as part of your service and your offering to the world, or if you are doing this because you are just doing it for yourself so you can align more fully with the divine and your mission. Either way, it's very important to always be paying attention to your energy, to know what's yours and what's not yours, and to always be purifying and clearing your energy field. This is a time to really use our focus and our energy, all of our strength, into bringing forth what we wish to focus on. Don't daydream on the way that things could be. Focus on what is the current reality, because it's important to be grounded in reality. And from understanding where you are in this moment, then you shift your frequency from a grounded place. It's not about denying where you are right now. It's about understanding that what you're now, you need to know where it is, because your now is based on past experiences and past frequencies that you embodied. And when you bring forward what you wish to birth, it's a new frequency. So in this present moment, we need to be aware of where we're at so we can choose a vibrational frequency to hold and embody and learn a vibrational frequency that will manifest the reality that we are birthing into being. So being fully grounded in the present is very important, especially if you truly wish to shift. You cannot truly know the frequency of what you want without being in the now. And Libra is a beautiful sign that it's an energy that likes to live in the realm of possibilities, which is why it is sometimes very, very difficult for them to make a decision and a choice. But it is important to understand that when you make a choice, it's a portal. You're opening up a new realm of possibilities, particularly when you are taking action from a heart-centered space. So allow the possibilities to open up in front of you. Take that action from a heart-centered space and then see what shifts. Everything is opening for us, and particularly when we take aligned action from a space of love and of being in your heart and as harmonious and as balanced as you can be, because understand, there will be the earth is only 50-50 daylight and night twice a year. So for humanity to think that we can be 100% balanced and 100% harmonious and 100% aligned all the time is unrealistic. Understand that we work towards alignment. We do our best to embody it, but we don't let the fact that we haven't arrived there, quote unquote, stop us from doing the things we need to be doing. Heart-centered action. This is the energy of this moon. Understanding, being fully grounded in reality. Libra sometimes likes to have rose-colored glasses, so we don't want to play into that energy of like looking at everything through the rosiest glasses, and we don't want to look at everything through, everything has to be burned down, burned to the ground, and hell with it. We want the balance. We want to create the alignment between understanding where we are in this moment and birthing the new frequency that we wish to bring forward. Aries likes to take action. Libra is the heart. When you merge the two, that is when we can really live a more magical experience. And I keep coming back to the word magic because life is a miracle. Your existence, your life, everything that is in every aspect of your life is a miracle. When we approach our life viewing it as the miracle of creation that it is, a deeper sense of gratitude awakens within us. And that deeper sense of gratitude awakens even more love and attracts even more abundance, even more creation energy, even more openness. It attracts more for us to be grateful for. There are so many things in our lives that we take for granted. We take for granted that we have a home, most of us. We take for granted that we have a device that can basically tell us whatever it is that we want. Sometimes it's not a good thing, but we have a device at the palm of our hands that can basically give us information. Are we using that information wisely though? Or are we allowing the algorithms to lead us astray? So discernment, again, we come back to discernment. We come back into understanding that every decision is a portal, is a new initiation, and the miracle that we are, if we approach life being grateful for the electricity, the running water, the food, the dishes we have to wash, the clothes we have to wash and to wear. If we begin approaching every part of our lives like, oh, thank heavens I have this. Thank you, Divine Mother, Father, Allah. Thank you for the fact that I am safe and I am protected, and the fact that I have a loving husband, and the fact that I have, all these wonderful people in my life. Thank you. The divine is only going to gift us with more. However, if we focus on the one thing that we have not manifested yet, and we focus on the lack and the separation and the pain and the distortion, then what we're going to receive is more of that. And it's not a judgment, it's not a punishment. It is simply because vibrationally you are holding a frequency that is in resonance with more lack and more uncertainty and more chaos. And if you don't want more uncertainty and more lack, fix your vibration. Understand that there are outdated programs that all of us are running, and we can continue running them, and we're going to continue getting the same results, or we can change them. And the ego doesn't want to change those programs because the ego is attached to those programs, and the ego is thriving under those old paradigms and programs. So of course the ego doesn't want to change. But your soul, that is in infinite communion and oneness with the divine, is willing to shift and to change and to evolve and to grow and to expand and to reorganize and recondition and remove the outdated patterns. And this moon can give us that illumination in those parts of our lives, as to where we need to shift, where we need to purge, where we need to get rid of a way of thinking, being, doing that creates more reactivity and more separation and more negativity in our lives. So allow this moon to open you up, to illuminate you, and to bless you with harmony and alignment. And allow this energy of no planets in retrograde to really give you that extra push to move forward. Don't forget to tune in to the sound activation for this full moon in Libra. And if you have not taken a listen to the energies for this Aries lunar cycle, please do so. There's also a wonderful sound activation for that. All that will be linked below. And I'm wishing you a blessed full moon in Libra. If you enjoy this, like, share, subscribe. If you would like a one-on-one Kabbalistic astrology reading, you can check the link below as well. And of course, if you enjoy this, you can actually see me share mantras and mini sound activations and practices for this cycle on YouTube at Aurea, and on my Instagram at Embodying the Shekhinah and at Aurea. All that is linked below. Have a blessed full moon, and I will see you in the next episodes. Ahava.